Thank you for joining us. I'm John Razimus, and this is Hoax. In this episode, I'm going to give a small, tiny update about a guy claiming to be John Titor. And don't tell me to say Titor, that's stupid. It's Titor. And I first heard about this guy claiming to be John Titor from a guy on Twitter named John Thomas. And so thanks to John Thomas for this. The dude claiming to be John Titor, his name is Joseph Matney. Now, did I pronounce that correctly? I don't care. The dude's hardly worth mentioning. He claims on his LinkedIn page that he's John Titor. He's taking credit for something he didn't do. He claims on his website, he confesses on his website, wink wink, that he's John Titor. But don't tell anyone I said that. It's literally the exact opposite personality of the person who authored the John Titor posts many years ago. And it's clearly not him. And I am going to offer a challenge to this Joseph Matney guy who claims he invented John Titor. If you invented the John Titor story, produce that rare, unmatched military box with the little buttons and gadgets and tape and military-looking buttons and gadgets, and produce the exact box. I'm not talking about a cheap knockoff. Produce on a video camera, say, I created the John Titor story. Now, you don't need to get a truck. You don't need to get a Corvette or whatever John Titor drove. You don't need to get his shotgun. You don't need... And anyone could pick up one of those 50s little radioactive meters. But what anyone can't pick up and get is that extremely rare military box. I've looked on Google Images many times, have never been able to match it. I've come close, but I've never been able to match it. I personally believe that John Titor box is a foreign, very rare military box. It might have been a rifle box. It might have been a rare gun box. It might have been a rare rocket launcher artillery box. It might have been just a rare ammunition box from another country. It might be 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. However old it is, whatever country it came from, it's very rare. And it's the reason it was chosen to be the time travel box, because the person who created the prop for the story knew it would be extremely difficult for anyone to match it up. Therefore, it came from the future. So, Joseph Matney, you have a lot of words. You seem to be someone that jumped on the bandwagon to try to get some credibility for being an artist. But the only artist I can see here, the only artistry I can see is that of a con artist. Because you have proven 0% that you're JT. You're not John Titor, never were. If you did, you'd have the military box prop, time machine box. That photograph had a movie prop in it of a time machine box, military-made box. I challenge you to come up and produce and have a video of you standing right next to it and thoroughly zooming in and thoroughly looking at it in HD video. Short of you standing next to that military time machine box prop that John Titor showed us in those tiny little photos that he shrunk so you couldn't see any details of like military numbers you could match up. I challenge you, Joseph Matney, to produce the military time machine box prop without a video of you next to that military time machine box prop. And no one will ever take you seriously, son. And I wrote a song about it. You're not even close to John Titor, never will be, you're not even close. The guy that is behind John Titor was smarter than you. The guy behind John Titor was not a complete moron that posted on his blog and said stuff like, "Wink, don't tell anyone my secret, I'm John Titor." He wasn't an idiot, unlike the person that would post something like that. Never will be, son. Big fat poser, big fat joke. If you wanna prove me wrong, if you wanna prove yourself right, come up with that box prop. Someone even attempting to pretend to be part of a hoax is a hoax, son. You're hijacking a hoax, you're becoming a hoax of 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 a hoax, son. He never will be John Titor. Can't produce that military box prop time machine, son. As I'm talking about. So in summary, if you can't produce the military time machine box prop, the extremely obscure model and make of that exact box, we know how many latches are on it, we know how many ridges are on it, it's extremely rare, extremely obscure. Short of coming up with that box with the exact buttons and dials and stickers that the person behind the John Titor hoax went to the trouble of making, guarantee you that guy, he didn't just chuck that extremely elaborate time machine prop. It's probably sitting in his closet right now, collecting some dust, maybe some cobwebs. Maybe it's in his storage shed. Maybe it's in his garage. But it's not you. Drudge out that military time machine box prop. I know you're going to say, anybody can drudge out a military box prop. No, not anybody could. I searched Google Images 100 hours, buddy boy. Couldn't find that exact box because it's that rare. I found some pretty close ones. I'll even give you a head start and try to search some obscure Japanese military boxes, some obscure German, some obscure Russian, some obscure Chinese military boxes for rifles, ammunition, artillery, bazookas, missiles, bullets, maybe medical equipment, some random type of equipment, maybe even some atomic era stuff. Whatever it is, it's extremely rare. No one's been able to match it exactly. So I challenge you to videotape yourself standing next to it. You're not going to. So I'll create a second challenge for the viewers. Match the exact box. Try to match the exact box. I bet this Joseph Matney guy couldn't match the exact box. He couldn't even match the exact box. He couldn't even match it, let alone videotape himself standing next to it. He couldn't even match it. He couldn't even Google Images match it. This guy's a big fat bandwagon trying to get... he's a big old Weird Al Yankovic claim to fame fraud. And his claim to fame is pretending to be something he's not. Congratulations, you're the 7th guy that's claimed he's John Titor. And you're also the 7th guy that's provided zero evidence. Now, the guy you created, I think is pretty obviously a Haber, but he's obviously moved on. But I think there's a good chance he still has that military box prop in his closet. And maybe there's a challenge for the actual guy behind the John Titor story to prove this Joseph Matney guy is Well, you don't have to prove squat. This Joseph Matthew guy hasn't proven jack squat. So you don't have to prove anything. But if the real John Titor wants to step forward, film yourself next to the exact military box prop. Until then, no one's going to take you seriously or believe you. And this has been a John Titor update. I'm John Razimus with Hoax Hunter. Be seeing you.